Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Guys, we're getting into the second game of our wild card bracket, and we're going to take a quick look at our two teams. The first team we're going to be looking at for their roster is China's champions, OMG.
OMG.
That was the roster for OMG. Now we are going to be taking a quick look at the champions of Latin America, 404, name not found.
Name not found. Buaso. Barbarossa. Nicer Chili. Oxyladian.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Alienware Analyst Desk. As the stage has been set, our two teams getting ready to go. It's going to be Name Not Found facing off against OMG. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That we're going to be checking out. Well, that's what we were saying when we were watching that Titan matchup. I think all four of us were just standing up and just yelling, oh my God. And it was the coolest thing. Really, you know, for me coming into this brand new, such an awesome feeling just to be a part of that. But here we go. So picks and bans now for OMG, Name Not Found. Let's see. Drybear, we know what's going to go right away. I mean, it would be crazy if it wasn't. That's Circuit's bye-bye.
Well,
I think Thanatos.
I don't know. I mean, you look at both these teams. I think if you're ever going to see a point where Circuit doesn't get banned, it's got to be in the wild cards. These teams have such strange picks. We've got Neef going away, Giannis going away, and Thanatos up against OMG, which, of course, OMG dominated with Thanatos early.
I mean, that was just a clear respect ban. Like, absolutely, OMG was like, no, not dealing with Neef. Is probably they're most likely going for the same aggressive playstyle.
We have a Circuit.
Wow.
There's a
For
Circuit.
sure.
I have a Circuit.
First big block. Don't even wait. What are you waiting for? There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
Wow.
Don't even wait.
Okay, well, hold on. Why? Why did this happen? Drybear, please.
I mean, it's just so many strange picks from these teams. They have to respect ban. I mean, it's two respect bans from 404. 404 coming out of Latin America with a lot of North American experience playing North American servers are saying, OMG, your Ares and Thanatos are too strong, and we value those bans over Circuit. That's mind-blowing, and I'm so excited to see what they do with it.
I think it's just absolutely amazing. The reason you could tell they're just fearing the early game domination coming out of OMG. They'd rather give up Circuit and lose, like, you know, going into the mid to late game and try surviving there than give up the early game.
Apollo and Athena are going to be locked in there, so we'll see how that pans out for them. Name Not Found. I mean, you're facing off against the Circuit now. What is the counter on the other side for Name Not Found? What do you do in this case?
Cripple. You just need Cripple. Bakasura. Well, Ares is banned, so you can't get him. But Bakasura, Poseidon, Scylla. Cripple him. He can't use his dash. She can use his dash with
Kitty,
with
cat, and
Cripple.
dog.
Yep.
So, I mean, and there it is.
Got the
Another
cat dog
Anubis.
family joining us here. Okay, so Circuit's officially a cat lady. All
I
right.
expect Bacon
Or
to...
cat and dog lady.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank Cricket.
Yeah, I expect 404 to pick up some sort of Cripple at least, to deal with the Circuit at least early game. But...
Yeah, and there goes Thor.
Thor picked up. I mean, they got. So now we're going to the ban phase. Now, obviously, you know, you see that OMG has not picked up their support yet. So they need to pick up, you know, obviously Geb's available, Sylvanas is available. They can even go into Amir. Amir very aggressive. There's a Sylvanas ban.
Done.
404 has done their homework, as we, you know, shown. They're definitely all about the picks and understanding what the team does and breaking apart the little pieces that holds up what they do. OMG is not going to make a ban here. What's it going to be? Bakasura.
Bakasura.
Yeah.
Do you think that we might see a Ymir pick for OMG?
Possibly. I mean, of the aggressive early pressure Guardians, Ymir and Ares have been played a lot, and you use Imsar as well. I mean, you know, what makes Ymir and Ares so preferable?
Early game. I mean, you just like, Ymir, Ares just go in early game and just pick up kills. However, if you fall behind, it's really dangerous because you just keep feeding gold to the other team.
It seems like China doesn't care at all about falling behind.
They don't care at all.
The first 10 minutes is all that matters.
Which is weird when you think about it, considering it didn't work out last time.
No.
But maybe it's like, hey, maybe Lightning might strike twice? That could be the approach here. Allied? Thoughts?
I mean, well, you can tell that OMG's come in here with a lot of confidence. No hesitation, any of the picks. It's not even like they're hovering it. They're just like, Anubis, that's mine. Like, I'm really curious to see in what direction they go with their support and their soul lane picks.
Yeah, Bakasura is a really, really good band, though. I just want to emphasize that for a second, because that's like the biggest counter to Circuit, in my opinion. And just getting rid of that makes it... Alright, so Gabe.
Wow.
Right?
Anubis got picked before Geb. What year is it?
I don't even know.
I'm so lost.
So Agni gets locked in for name not found. It just seems to be just a lot of wondering on our end, right, as to like what they're
That's
trying
great.
to do. So there's
Oh,
Geb.
This is amazing.
That's
who gets
awesome.
picked, and that's going to be Chalk as well. So, okay, what should we expect here with OMG before this last pick?
Big AoE silence, a lot of damage coming from OMG. Name not found. They've got to get some kind of stability. I mean, they have decent front line, but Thora and Athena is not going to cut it. They need a good warrior.
I mean, OMG's team comp is very healthy. It's a very nice, mostly Egyptian pantheon like team comp, and honestly, like I see them going. If they play everything correctly, they should go into mid to late game with a healthy composition that could just clean
Look
out.
at his face. You can
Name
see
Not
him
Found.
thinking about it. That's Oxidillion on the end there. He's
Defend
thinking
the
about
Anubis
it.
composition right here, because you have Geb shield for Anubis, you have Shaq silence for the Anubis.
You
Who
can
do you go
tell.
for?
I don't even know.
The
Wow.
God of Time.
The God of Time.
God of Time.
Locked in and ready to go, folks. Well, that's going to do it as the gods are locked in. We're going to toss it over to the casters to get this one rolling, folks. Take it away. Take it away, guys. Sorry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the commentary desk. Once again, my name is hi-rez Bart. This fine gentleman right here is Scott Lucier, a.k.a. Scott Gandhi. Scandy, Muscat Magandhi. There's a lot of ways you can call it, but I just call him buddy and co-commentator.
Aw.
Hey, co-commentator.
Hey, buddy.
And well, we got ourselves a pretty interesting game here. OMG seems to be the strongest contender out of the 4 teams not from North America or Europe based on their round 1 performance, but it's going to be put to the test by 404 name not found from Latin America.
Yeah, and this is a very, very hard game type, too, just in a general, right? Because they're facing elimination completely. Their backs are against the wall. They have to hold down. Both people want to win more than ever, and I think OMG... I think they shocked everyone, and I think everyone's kind of on this like OMG bandwagon. Like,
train, yeah.
I feel like so many people want to see like Titan versus OMG happen again to see if they can come out on top,
Now,
right?
That would be an amazing, amazing set to watch. And well, 404, they definitely struggled in their first game, but that's not really something that we didn't expect going up against
Exactly.
Cog Prime, Cog Red. Those teams just so strong.
So strong.
The real question here is, was that a bad game for Titan, or is OMG really that close to the level of North American play already? Which is pretty scary considering that Smite Esports in 2015 and the Chinese already looking this good. It's going to be tough. But ladies and gentlemen, let's head to the game. It's OMG on the bottom side of the minimap. They are the blue team wearing the blue trunks, and they're going to be situated on the left side of your spectator UI. Ni Feng will be your Chalk in the soul lane. That puts Enjing in the jungle as Circuit. Never Ends is in the mid lane as Anubis. Ming Jiyu is your On Her, and he's pairing up with Fighting Jay as the Geb in the duo lane. The other team is, of course, Latin America's Name Not Found. They are wearing the red trunks. They're on the top side of your minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. They are going to be Huaso in the jungle as Thor. Bamaroha will be your solo lane. Kronos Oxylidion is the Apollo in the duo lane with Zesu as the Athena, and that leaves Nicer Chile as the mid lane Agni.
Now, looking at this right off the rip, Bart, I have all eyes on Chalk. Now, Chalk is going to be going up against most likely this Kronos going into the solo lane, as we said, and he's got Heavy Hammer. So he needs to go for the kill almost instantly.
Well, this is basically very similar to what we saw them run against Titan. Instead of the Thanatos, you have the Circuit, which is a much better pick for trying to take the game past about 25-30 minutes.
In every way
In every
possible.
single way, that's right. Yeah. Thanatos is one of the lowest win rate gods in competitive play. Circuit, not necessarily one of the highest win rate gods, but certainly one of the most valued gods to pick up for that jungle role. And well, it looks like they may be thinking about an invade here, as the Anubis very strong fighting at level 1 with the Plague of Locusts, and yes, indeed, they will be able to take away the speed buff rather easily. OMG already flexing their muscles against 404.
Now, 404 did have a ward here on the mid Harpies, but they're just going to watch this go.
Yeah,
mid Harps could go to Agni if he really wanted to, but that would put him in a weird position. Eyes on Thor. Is he going to try to commit here? Anubis should be able to zone him out. Here comes the spin, and he's just going to get all the way out. That is both buffs that is not good for Thor.
Yeah, that's really tough for him. And honestly, Thor excels in that situation, right? His passive is that he gets power for every enemy god in range. He had a lot of power going into that. You saw how much Berserker Barrage did, but now OMG a little bit greedy here. They're going to try to take them right side camps. It's not going to happen for them right now, being held off by 404, and they will take that. That gives them at least a little bit of capitulation for the early steal of the double buff.
Yeah, they should be okay. And now Serket's going to go ahead and leash off into the middle here. She's going to share the experience. She does have the Bumba's Mask, which means everything's good. And Anubis does have to be very careful. Now, Agni is a force to be reckoned with in the mid lane. He's super safe. He has escaped, and he does a lot of damage.
You can see, you know, OMG, while being mechanically and perhaps technically good players, they have left themselves a little bit of an opening. They get the early double buff invade, right? And they do a nice job with it, but their Anubis has fallen pretty far behind from not getting any mid camps, about 2 levels behind that Agni. But let's take a look at the left side lane where Hasso is in position. Where's the stun? Does not have it skilled yet. No, he only has the spin to win and the Mjolnir's attunement. It's just a tough gank with only 2 spells this Thor.
Looking for the Mez. She missed the Mez. Mummify is going to miss. There's going to be a decent amount of damage on the Chile, and he's just going to go ahead and rotate out. So already we're starting to see OMG trying to be super aggressive early on. But the one thing you have to be worried about here is Serket. She's only level 2 with that advantage that she had earlier on. So it's going to be kind of hard for her as she's going to go ahead and give this blue buff to Chalk, which Chalk should have full control over the solo lane, having 2 blue buffs back to back.
That's right, yeah. He'll pick up the second one here, and, well, it should give him a lot of control, as you mentioned. Kronos, however, he does have a spell that allows him to clear cast his next spell. Clear casting, of course, is the spell does not cost mana, so he has at least avenues to kind of sustaining himself in the lane, but it's definitely not where you want to be. No blue buff, and Kronos, after all, is a mage.
Yeah, and, you know, Kronos recently got a buff, and it's been looking very good. Meanwhile, on the left side, Athena looking for possibly a taunt there. She wasn't able to get it, so now we're just going to see as she's going to stay in lane and see how they try to re-engage here. Now, on her taking against Apollo, on her has the first, like, maybe 7 levels on Apollo, and then Apollo pretty much wins that fight.
Itemization seems to rule this matchup, maybe a little bit more than the levels. On her, you know, his wave clear does exceed Apollo's, and around that level 7, 8, 9 mark is where So Beautiful begins to clear the wave as like the Impale. But it's that passive from the Apollo that makes him scale much better with items. On her's passive is simply put penetration against the targets you're hitting. Apollo's is double attack speed. So with on-hit procs and with things like crit chance and whatnot, Apollo does end up outpacing the on her. Around that level 10, 12 mark, around the 15-minute mark maybe when the items start coming up, it really starts to show.
And when you look at Name That Fine, they're basically entirely early game. And when you have an Athena, it's basically, and a Thor, you want to fight early as much as possible. Mid Harpies are going to be up on the left side. Geb's going to be able to contest it, and he's able to steal it. Great job by fighting Jay. He's been playing fantastic today.
Yeah, and that's, like, honestly probably the biggest strength of Geb is that AoE knockup on a non-ultimate ability and how it sets up camp steals and allows him to control, especially the early stages of the game when his Hog is up for all the camps that he needs to contest, and absolutely well executed by fighting Jay. OMG on the back of that has pulled ahead a bit now, 500 golden experience to their credit. It's not much. 1 tower will make up for that, but as it stands right now, OMG looking to be the aggressor against 404, Name Not Found.
Now, I'm sure a lot of the viewers at home are wondering, why is Serket banned all the time if we haven't seen her make a difference so far in this game? Serket really becomes a problem at around level 9, but as we take a look at the mid lane, she is going to be crashing down. The Mez is going to miss. She's going to throw the ultimate, kicks Athena back in. Cataclysm follows up. Death Gaze finishes that one. First blood goes to OMG.
OMG taking the first blood there. They dump a lot of spells into that kill, but they do get a successful kill on the Athena. Killzone supports this early in the game. Actually, right around now is when they start being impactful. Really early on, obviously, you can recover from that kill, but this is going to slow down her sovereignty time. As you can see, her first back does not yield her the Midas boots. She's forced to go for the rank 2, and when the Geb does fall back, he should have those Midas boots online. We'll pull ahead in the GP5 game, the gold per 5 seconds, and should translate in the mid-game into an earlier sovereignty. And as we see there, Scott, you heard him whooing in the background. Second set of orange buffs picked up now on the side of OMG as well, and they'll steal the blue buff away.
That's perfect timer execution right there. They knew exactly when it was going to come up. 4 minutes after you originally take it, they go ahead, they invade in there, steal the speed. Thor is now still so far behind, even though he's only 1 level behind Serket. Serket's mobility mixed in with the speed buff is a nightmare.
She's banking gold, almost 2K to her credit. No, she does go ahead and finish off the pen boots. I thought perhaps she was going to try to leave the lane and rush into the crit early here, but no, the normal pen boots, and as you mentioned, Thor only level behind, but now it's always very dangerous in Smite or any MOBA for that matter when you go back to the base, you lose out on experience in gold, and there's certain timings you want to hit. You want your first back to basically finish your boots or finish the item you're rushing, and as you can see here, it's rank 2 boots for Thor, it's rank 2 boots for Athena, it's rank 2 boots for Agni, it's rank 2 boots for Kronos, so they have not had a very good time in this laning phase so far at 5 minutes 40 seconds, and they have to find a way to stick to these lanes and try to eclipse this golden experience, this advantage that they have come to find themselves in.
Well, the Harpy's getting ready to come up. Mummify's going to be there. Death Gaze, decent amount of damage there on the Nicer, but he wasn't able to get the kill, unfortunately, but he did force him out, which is going to be big. But Agni, as we said, he's got the dash. It's very, very safe, and it looks like Serket's going for the kill here.
Agni doesn't have his dash up, Scott. He's going to use the Aegis, and they're going to taunt away. There's the Geb, but the dash is in time. There's the ultimate coming up. That's who's going to eat a lot of damage for the Plague. Here comes the Thor as well. The spin to win is out. Fighting Jay in some trouble. Engine already fallen. In the meantime, Mingzhu does pick up a kill into Oxy, but is it going to be enough to bail out Fighting Jay? Huaso is here. Athena coming back in from the well. The rollout begins. Here comes the Athena. The taunt is there for Anubis. Shield wall as well. Anubis can turn and fight. Wow. He wasn't one to just yet. He's going to go for Plague of Locusts. They're going to put some damage back out, but no return kill. OMG escapes with just one death.
OMG got very, very fortunate in there. I mean, Geb, you can see the mitigation happening. Meanwhile, on the right side, though, Shock possibly trying to aggress here on Kronos. As you can see, he has a level advantage. He got 2 blue buffs in a row, which means Kronos hasn't been able to clear the wave as effectively.
Yeah, he's losing out, definitely having some gold stripped away from him by that tower, but I want to talk quickly about the kind of map positioning for 404 just here. The Chalk stock starts to aggress a bit onto Kronos. You see the 3 members that are now taking the red buff from 404 on the top left of your screen, moving to that side of the map. Honor had killed Oxy, the enemy Apollo, during that time period, and was able to push 2 full waves into the tower and take about a third of that tier 1 on the left side's HP. It was, had they rotated immediately left, they would have been able to prevent that damage. Instead, they have a bit of a fail gank, and they 3-man farm their jungle. It's just not very efficient play from 404, and this is why you see OMG pulling ahead.
Yeah, that's huge. And OMG actually has the timer set here on the mid Harpies on the right side. They actually came up at 7:15. Which is very, very late, but they have control of that, which is huge. Now, on the right side here, Chalk does have shielded teleport, and he's choosing not to use it in the lane because he knows the next big fight is going to be at the Gold Fury, Bart.
You know, and as you mentioned, kind of like that timer discipline is something I think very characteristic of Chinese esports. They've always been very, very technically sound players, coming from Dota and League of Legends. Most of the kind of Asian competitors always tend to, the problem is that they will almost never beat themselves, and a lot of the reason why you see them play more tank-oriented games in MOBAs because it just forces the game time to extend and forces the enemy to make mistakes, and it's a bit out of what we're seeing out of OMG here with that timer discipline.
Yep, the blink coming out here for Anubis, and that's partly because he lacks in mobility. Every time to do damage, he has to root himself.
Now this is one of my favorite Smite arguments to make is that Anubis should get a buff and it should just be he can carry 3 actives. This god really, really needs both Beads, Aegis, and Blink. And the Blink is mandatory for the survivability, the Beads he needs for the survivability, and the Aegis he needs for the survivability. Can you guess what is the hardest part about playing Anubis?
Damage?
No, it is indeed surviving. The god has 2 abilities that root him, which means that he is forced to stay in place to channel them, and it makes him a bit of a sitting target, but he does have outrageous damage to compensate for it.
Yep, Serket on the timer again there. Athena trying to challenge it. They weren't able to do it. Anubis able to get 1. Kronos rotates over. Serket's got the meds down. She's got the poison, and she is able to get that kill. Kronos turn around on him. The rewind's going to happen, sending them back 8 seconds, and now Agni's in the middle. They do have the damage. Agni goes ahead and turns to regress, and now he's forced all the way out. Serket's going to get there, unable to get it. Kronos makes him pay. Here comes Apollo, Bart.
He's out of mana. He can't crash down here, and it's going to be yet another set of buffs stolen away by OMG. This is just getting comical now. I mean, will 404 ever be able to hold a buff? I'm really interested in seeing this end-of-game graphic where we see how strong this control was. Once again, we see the rotation force to the right side for 404. This once again leaves Mingzhi Yu able to farm out this left side, and he does so admirably. And while you were commentating on that orange buff invade, there was a kill in the mid lane. Geb ultimate and Anubis ultimate used to pick up a kill onto Thor. Really brilliantly timed, hitting him during that Mjolnir's attunement going out and stopping that in its tracks. hold the thoughts, though, as Anher's in a bit of trouble here. Athena comes crashing in. There's a Desert Fury used, and it's just destroying Thor. He makes it out with just a little bit of HP, and he's going to be back okay, but here comes Nifeng. He does have that teleport to wards on the Chalk, and they're going to transition this into a Gold Fury after forcing out the Thor. Smart stuff from OMG.
Eyes on Athena. Athena's going to be the player to watch here. Agni's going to do a decent amount of damage, forcing on her out. Is Athena going to go in? Here comes the taunt, and Name Not Found was able to get the steal. That is exactly what you're playing. That is worth. A support for that, worth.
Oxy gets forced out of the shifting sands there. That could have been another kill picked up, but a little bit off the mark was Mingji Yu there. And, well, all things told, OMG, they can sustain that kind of loss. They had built themselves a pretty respectable lead, just under 3,000. It's going to drop them down to about 2,200 gold and only 4,000 experience. Let's go back to the action, though, as Oxy does find that kill on Nifeng, just overextending for that blue buff. It's not worth it, but you could a little bit of frustration maybe out of OMG trying to make their way back in. And Enjing and Nicer Chile, they're going to trade lives as well. So that's actually in favor, I think, of OMG to get the Chronos.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Agni off the board. He's level 12. Circuit only 10. She gets a lot of experience for that kill.
Yeah, and on top of this, Name Not Found finally getting their second set of Harpies since the first rotation up at 315. Anubis isn't even going to look to contest this, and 404 should be able to get both. This might be kill potential here for Thor if he goes in. If he times it right, he's at least guaranteed the... Oh, did he steal that?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, he snuck those out. Well played there. I mean, that's a pretty straight up and down play there. Huaso just the superior vision, knew exactly where the Anubis was and just sniped them right away. Again, Anubis, a very dot-oriented god, so unable to burst those down really quickly to secure the kills for himself. Checking in around the board here, let's take a look at the gold per minute being farmed out. And it looks like sitting on top of all players is going to be your Cirquette, perhaps, at 397. So farming really, really fast is that Cirquette. For given her levels, it's actually pretty surprising to see her sitting at 400 GPM.
For sure. And the one thing I'm noticing is that Thor on Name Not Found actually is doing a pretty good job at splitting camps and doing this, and now you can see the rotation happening. On here could be in a little bit of trouble. The ward coverage is going to be there. He's going to get stunned, the double tap, but the wall is on the opposite side.
Yeah, and he's only sitting on beads 1 and sprint there, so even forcing out the beads would have been a big deal, but they were unable to do so. Mingji just A-OK, just walks back into his tower, and he wards off the 3-man gank really, really well, and that just continues to put 404 behind when they're unable to really kind of get anything out of these rotations. They have to have these work for them. They need to find some kills shortly and recoup that experience, because that's where the problem is going to be very, very shortly, is the HP values from levels.
Well, what's absolutely insane here is that Gab is looking to force out Thor again. This timer is going to be coming up. The speed buff will be up in about 20 seconds, probably a little bit less than that here.
Yeah.
Looks like 10 seconds. It's probably flashing, and you can see the minimap. Everyone's grouping together. Chalk's going to go ahead and rotate. Eyes on Athena. Athena's going to try to zone. In comes Gab. Gab's going to roll out. He's going to force them out. That ability's going to be down, but that's not a big deal. Meanwhile, Enjing's able to get 1 kill on the backside. Gab is going to be facing Athena. They're not even going to waste time looking at each other.
Yeah, it's smart strategy here from the boys of OMG, just to make sure that they just keep that Thor in the garbage, right? I mean, they just want him to stay down. They keep on ganking him, and they keep on forcing him out of experience range. And it just translated into very little initiation, actually, on the side of 404. They're forced to run in something a little bit less tanky and use the Athena ultimate, as you see. Case in point, Nicer Chile here. They're going to turn this fight. Nicer Chile going to make his way out of this as well. Anubis going to stand his ground. It's not enough. 3 men fall for OMG. They've now found draws parity, 7 kills apiece at 13.5 minutes.
That's huge. That was a big turnaround for them. Really, OMG, they committed a lot to that there. The Cataclysm went down from Geb, but there wasn't really any follow-up. Meanwhile, Chalk, he does have to be careful here. Kronos does have kill potential if he continues to aggress, and he's not going to be able to do it. He could dive if he wanted to, but most likely not. Chalk, he heals too much.
Yeah, and Kronos, it looks like he's going to be building... Well, it should be a Warlock stash, given how we've seen players building, or quote-unquote, the meta.
Yeah.
But Gem of Isolation is a really good item on this god. HP and the slow can work very, very well for him. I still expect it to be a Warlock stash, but there's a chance this is a Gem of Isolation coming out.
I would hope it's a Warlocks. Personally, I think Warlocks is one of the best items in the game.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
only do you get a lot of damage from it, but you also get health.
Well, it's super gold efficient. It's not very time efficient. It takes a long time to get there, but it is very gold efficient once stacked. So
yeah,
it is a very, very nice item, of course. But we'll see. We'll see. He's closing in on enough gold in hand to pick that bad boy up. Sitting about 1,200. So we'll know very, very shortly, I think, what it's going to be.
And Gold Fury getting ready to come back up. You can start to see the players grouping in the mid on her, who is going to be in the top left. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He has to rotate in. Geb's going to throw down Cataclysm. Meanwhile, Sirket, she's got the damage down. Deathgate's going to be there. It's going to spread to everyone. Thor's going to go down as well. Athena, rest in pieces. That's going to be a tier 1 tower.
That was disgusting. What happens there? Sirket ultimate applies to one target. If that target dies, it once again does an AoE poison explosion, affecting all targets in the area. 100% healing reduction plus a pretty potent true damage dot was spreading out there. That Anubis ultimate just in time to make sure that they were able to secure enough damage for the kill. They're able to 4-man rotate to a tier 1 mid and take the Gold Fury on the left side. There's almost no way, without some kind of miraculous play from Oxy, that this is going back the way of 404. There should be a free Gold Fury for OMG. And in the meantime, Chalk continues to fire the right side solo lane, forcing Kronos to stay there.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Sirket is banned so many times this weekend. Chalk's going to go for the ultimate silencing, but that's going to be rewind. Go ahead and bring that. In case you guys have never seen Kronos, he goes back in time 8 seconds, bringing him back to health and everything.
Come over the wall. He doesn't have a lot of mana here on the Kronos. Barbaroja in a lot of trouble. Here comes the damage, and he is dead too. Rights down he goes. And Fang is going to try to make his way out of here. He's going to dodge the Huaso Thorson. In comes the Athena as well. He ports forward, trying to make the aggressive play. The team is rallying in. Apollo taking to the sky as well as the fight breaks out. Plague of Locust is going to get taunted out by the Athena. It's going to drop OMG's damage down to basically nothing. Where is the rest of the reinforcements? There's no one coming.
Wow.
Trying to bail. Fighting Jade is here, trying to block. He will maybe get Nifeng out of here on the Chalk, and it looks like Anubis is going to live as well. He's taunting death, though, as Nicer Chile rakes his way in. The Geb rolling on the backside. Take a look at Huaso. Oh, the lazy back gets blown up by Fighting Jade.
Meanwhile, Deathgate's going to go down. That's going to be an Agni Bomb collapsing on there. He's going to get taunted. Down goes Chalk as well. 404 trying to make a little bit of a comeback. Now, Geb is alive. He could kind of disrupt this, maybe have the tower take it out. But yeah, he does have the ult. He may have the damage to take him down. The tower's going to go down. He's got to roll out of there. He's not CC immune at the beginning of it, so he is going to be locked up, and he is going to be forced to go all the way back. But on the left side, Honor got another tower.
Yeah, he takes a tier 2 on the left, and now he's going to just fight Barbaroja here. Desert Fury being channeled as well. There is no ultimate available on the Kronos. There is the stop, and down he goes. Mingzi Yu, no problem, takes out the Kronos. That's the soul laner from the enemy team. The most valuable god on the side of 404 goes down to the late game carry for OMG. Scary stuff.
Now, let me ask you this, Bart. On her, we've seen so many different builds.
Yes.
You know, you have the Unicorn, you have the Standard, and you have the Transcendence. And in Europe, they seem to kind of like the Transcendence. Which one do you like?
On her, I like the idea of having a Transcendence on her. It gives you a tremendous amount of base physical power, which this god excels with, I think. But I don't, you know, as much as the Unicorn build seems to work, I'm not sure it's my favorite build on him. We'll take a look, however, as Mingzi Yu, he's going to try his best at making his way out of this one. The Athena ultimate comes through, but he's able to kite them away. Nifeng is in the front lines, and he's holding them in position, and here comes the tank. Fighting Jay is going to shield up onto the carry. They're going to try to burst down Zestu. They will be able to. Apollo electing to re-engage here. Very, very questionable. Zing comes to Sirket. In the meantime, Anubis picks up the Agni in the mid lane as well, and this could be 3 members off the board. Indeed, it is. 404 feeding that one away a little bit there. An engagement they likely could have won, overcommitted to it, and On Her stands his ground, finds 3 kills.
Oh my God, it's wasting no time. They're going to go directly to the Fire Giant. This is exactly what they do. You take out 3 members, you start the Fire Giant. This is what we like to see.
And Thor used his ultimate in that last engagement, didn't get anything out of it, now will not have it available here. It's basically all up to Barbaroja to make this happen for his team. There is a Hog 3 on Thor, however, some Mjolnirs into it could make it happen for them. Here comes Barbaroja, beats 3 pop. OMG, however, has already taken down the Fire Giant. Now the health regen starts to come through. Barbaroja does take up a lot of damage and gets the rewind out, and the chase is on, but I don't think they're going to find anything here.
They have to be very careful as well.
Yeah,
the Fire Giants, they're going to get turned on here. Chalk's going to re-engage. They know the ultimate's down. Here comes Sirket. That's a guaranteed kill, and now that's going to be 2 members down again.
Over pursued, and one of the more frustrating parts about fighting the On Her is that ultimate. And when you do get in a situation like that where you over pursue, and he's like, he has enough mana for 1 spell. Very rarely do you think it's going to be the Desert Fury where it puts him fully CC immune and does a tremendous amount of damage.
For sure.
Directly into your face. And, it also pierces and hits the people behind. So On Her.
It's always funny playing against on her because you're like, oh dude, I got the body block, bro. And it's just like,
I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
It's because we're good teammates.
Yeah, it is. It's because in my heart, I want everyone else to succeed. OMG, well, they're doing what they do best, and maybe what their favorite thing about playing Smite is taking the buff of 404.
Dude.
The 7th buff, I want to say, taken on this right side down by them.
It's every time.
Yeah.
They haven't had 1.
Yeah, this is...
so whatever the math is behind
rough.
that.
30.
Tight.
30 buffs.
Any steady buffs. Shock's going to go ahead and clear out the mid lane. Onher's going to steal the blue buff here from Name Not Found. Right now, if you're 404, you have to ask yourself, okay, guys, this is getting a little bit out of control. The experience is 14,000 in favor of the enemy team. We need to just group. Don't worry about the farm. We got to group and stay together because we can't afford getting picked apart. Right?
Yeah, they need to dodge. They need to they need to try to get into a base race that works in their favor. Right? They take a bunch of towers while OMG tries to break the base and they hold them out or something. They're just so far behind in levels. Look, you have a level 20 Onher you're fighting into with a level 12 Thor. Right, and so the Thor is not a character with high base protection, does not have a lot of HP. He's gonna get 2 or 3 shot once the crit comes online for Onher, and guess what? He has short sword finish, 1,500 gold. So it's a pretty tough situation they find themselves in. Also, you have Serket, Fire Giant buff plus Magic Blessing means she can move very freely in these fights, and is kind of in that position you were talking about, where she's basically really flexing her muscles is why this got his first pick right now.
And one of the main things you want to look at, and I want everyone to kind of cue in on with Serket, is she might jump into the team fight with her dash that goes back and forth, but by halfway through it with the Jotuns, it's already back. So her mobility is just through the roof.
Yeah, and it's not like that spell's even on a short cooldown. It's just she stacks cooldown reduction.
Yep.
And she stacks basically a single survivability item that prevents her from being CC'd too easily, and then just moves in and out of the fights. The best way to deal with this god is probably to kite her, not let her get into range to do what she wants to do. But with an Onher on the side of OMG, he's really one of the better zoners for this god, a persistent AoE-based ground slow in that shifting sands. And they have that already to zone out 404 and make room for that Serket to get in those fights. So as it stands, this is like the last rally for 404. OMG's going to try to break the base here. They're grouping up and they're looking at the left side. The reason that they are looking at the left side primarily here, and this is something we try to say almost every cast, is that you want to take the left side Phoenix instead of when you can, as this does yield you the biggest map advantage, as it forces some members of 404 to stay in the lane furthest from the major map objective of the Fire Giant.
Yep. And now they're going to go ahead and clear out the wave. Eyes on Thor. He does have ultimate. They might be able to go ahead and push this. And Geb's going to blink in. That's going to be the Cataclysm. A lot of damage. Death Gaze is going to be there. Athena's going to be taken down. And that is going to do it for that Phoenix. Are they going to rotate into the mid? They are. Thor ult didn't hit anyone, unfortunately. Now they're just going to tank the damage here. In comes Apollo. Apollo's going to force him out a little bit, but there's no follow-up part.
They had the right idea there. He tried to put the damage out onto Engine Serket, but it just wasn't enough. Too little, too late. Engine a little bit too beefy now. 2 Phoenixes fall in favor of the Chinese team, OMG, as they look like they definitely don't want to be in an elimination position if they can.
I think they just wanted to go a little bit longer so they can steal another speed buff. The jungle map's going to be hilarious.
They actually get paid per speed buff, so I understand why they would extend the game. Tier 2 on the right side. No minions to remove backdoor protection, but hey, they're going to go for it anyway, and they have enough damage to just go ahead and plow right through that. No more towers remaining on the side of OMG, and only 1 lonely Phoenix in the right side lane. OMG falling back to pick up their final items, and then they're going to make their charge for the Titan.
Now, Shock with a very interesting build there. He went with the Height of the Urchin before finishing the Jotuns, then he just got the Jotuns, and now he has Adventurer's Blade. Wing Blade has been a very popular item thus far in the SWC part.
It has. It's an extremely gold efficient item. It gives you a lot of stats. It gives you some HP, it gives you cooldown reduction primarily, and some movement speed. Those are the things you're looking at, and it's just really cost efficient, 1,850 gold. And it's a great bridge item. It allows you to, similar to the Magi's Blessing, it's like a Magi's Blessing, except for instead of CC base, it's focused around slows, and it gives you better stats. So you can see it take the place of the Magi's Blessing in some builds, like you see here on the Shock. He's resilient enough to deal with the CC chain, so he'd rather have more mobility.
OMG looking to zone some people out. Geb, excuse me, is going to find one. Nicer Chili's going to take a lot of damage from Fighting Jay. Fighting Jay not waiting on his team. He just wants to force the fight. And that's going to force him out just a little bit here. And Thor's going to come crashing down. Kronos is going to be there as well. Thor taking a lot of damage. The Death Gaze is going to get another kill. He's got Combat Blink on as well. So Onher is in a lot of trouble here. Shifting Sand's going to be there. He's going to impale one. Look at the damage from Desert Fury. The Rewind's going to be there. He's in a little bit of trouble there. Shield's going to be there. He's got the teammates to help. He needs to hit the auto shifting chance. 721 crit. My God, that hurts.
Yeah, that's a big Onher. 2 Deathbringers on the board as well. Serket has one as well. So the RNG-based damage spikes coming out of OMG right now are really, really difficult for 404 to deal with. There's almost no way that they find themselves out of this position. Third Phoenix getting ready to fall. Zetsu finds one only there, gets hunted out. Plague of Locusts just ripping through his HP pool. Oxy, Nicer trying to hold them out. Third Phoenix down. Titan in danger of being dove, 57% HP on that Titan, 50% now as the fire minions are there. One on her ultimate, I'm sorry, an on her and Anubis ultimate. Either of those will probably seal the deal, but OMG, God, I love watching this. I'm a huge fan of Chinese MOBA play, and this is exactly what you would expect.
Yeah.
They could win the game right now, but there is a 1% chance that they dive the Titan and they die. Let's get the Fire Giant.
Throw it.
I mean, it's just...
Well,
it's
actually,
kind of
hold the phone.
the stall tactic style of play from the Chinese, it's basically, you just have no chance of losing if you do all these things. Sure, the game goes a bit longer, but at 25 minutes, they got plenty of time to work with, and now they're going to try to run down Zensu, who finds himself in a world of hurt.
And that's going to be 2 members down. On her is going to be in a little bit of a battle here, taking down an Athena. Athena really can't do any damage, and he's like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go ahead and push. The Titan is so low.
Yeah,
he has barely any health left, and they're just going to go ahead and push. It's going to be a couple of auto attacks from all of them put together. Name not found. Titan's under attack. It's at 46%. OMG will be advancing.
Wow, I mean, and we expected that they may be the strongest team out of the 4 teams not from North America and Europe, and they definitely show that they certainly have what it takes to beat the Latin American squad. Will they fare better or worse against the Brazilian squad? To be seen, but OMG, their second good performance here of this tournament.
I feel like they just kind of caught their stride.
Yeah.
In their match versus Titan, I was like, okay, they look really, really good. They caught them off guard, but they weren't able to close. In this, you can see exactly the Chinese meta, like you said. They are very, very disciplined, and they make sure they lock it down.
It was a great play from OMG. Congratulations to 404 as well for being the champions of Latin America. That does it for the commentary desk. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send it back to Dry Bear and Golden Boy to break it down for us. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Bart. And yes, OMG, good showing out of them. And Gandhi, you could not be more right, buddy. You know, they have definitely found their stride here. Look out anyone who they face off against in the next round. I think that this squad's really going to perform.
Well, I want to bring it back to the First Blood, as we always do. The Logitech First Blood on the screen. OMG is just phenomenal. You see in the beginning here, the Anubis damage is all they need. It started off right, but they're able to react to each other perfectly. There's the big burst, and he just turns immediately. And I think Anubis is one of the most heavily criticized gods in this game, and China is just eating it up. And one thing I do want to mention is the fact that DID and OMG are doing the exact same thing. We saw DID swap their solo lane and their jungle. OMG did the exact same thing. Nifeng, who was playing Thanatos in the first game, now swapped into solo lane to play Chalk this time around, and then we saw the same thing. The solo laner went into the jungle. It seems like that they're comfortable, and you mentioned a little bit of that, Simstar. So you know, you were saying that they had a chance to maybe, based on the picks, they want to change. Tell us about it.
It's something. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think that the jungle and solo lane can swap roles depending on what the matchup is and what they have to play for the team. So like in some situations, maybe the jungler will swap to solo if he feels more comfortable in that situation. Just a thought. I don't know, because both teams did the same thing. So.
Overall, I really do think that they, like, the switch was really good and it worked out in their favor. You could tell, like, he seemed really comfortable solo, and every single lane dominated for OMG. Like, overall, like, it was just solid play all around, and I was really, like, stoked, dude. The China hype train, let's go.
You're on that train hard right now. You want a lot of t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
With players' faces on it.
There's at least 3 or 4 I
And their
need,
company
like,
god.
Players' faces, their god of choice, like.
Yeah, I'm sure we've been getting a lot of cool stuff on Twitter, by the way. Big shout out to everyone who's been trying to have us eat food.
Feed us
on stream. You know, I think I got some pizza. You got a Cheeto.
Yeah, a Cheeto. Someone was giving me a drink.
You got a Cheeto
I was
as
like,
well, Ally.
Oh, yeah.
Still hungry.
We haven't got you anything?
Still hungry.
Still hungry.
Still
You guys aren't feeding
hungry,
Simstar,
guys.
man.
Come on, feed this poor young man. My goodness gracious. You know, challenge out there for the. There you go. That's going to be the still, and then that's going to. Oh no! Wait, go back.
Oh wait, no.
No.
You can't take it back. This is live.
crap.
This is
Do it.
live. You can't take that back.
Jeez. Oh goodness
Oh,
gracious. Okay.
God.
Challenge out there for the internet. If you can cook some bacon and then feed that to either myself or Driver,
That
might be a win.
You know,
Might just
let's
win
go
the
ahead.
internet
Let's just
today.
make a weird pose and see if they can Photoshop and make something out of it.
Yeah, like something like that. All right, fit something in the middle.
There you
Figure
go.
it out.
Do something.
Okay, so we'll try. All right, guys. Obviously, we're having fun here at the Alienware Analyst Desk. Player of the game, Gamer Launch Player of the game. Gotta highlight Ming Zhiyu. Gotta highlight this young man.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal play with this on her. It was a point in the game where he was level 20 and he was facing off against a Thor that was level 12. And you're like, I don't know. Like, pretty dominating, wouldn't you say so, Alex?
Absolutely amazing on her play. I think Zatman Senpai would be proud. He was very like ballsy. He just like would jump in and just very aggressive. Like I couldn't even believe it. It was just a lot of really good plays, and he performed really well in team fights too with the same aggressive tone. And honestly, with that confidence, like for me, for example, $2.5 million on the line, I'm thinking twice about jumping in.
Yeah.
He's just going.
2.6, by the way.
2.6.
So there's an extra 100
Yes.
that's going to really make you take that lead,
Yeah.
right? An extra 100.
Actually, never mind, no leap.
Well, he didn't
No.
leave. I mean, we saw time and time again, Mingju Yu was able to, and this same thing with Knight from DID. I mean, the mechanics are so solid. There was one point where Thor picked up his hammer, Mingju Yu was like, and saw it and just jumped over the wall and landed and kept fighting. I mean, the reaction time they have is mind-boggling.
Yeah, the one thing that OMG has definitely been showing is just the mechanics, right? The way that they play the game is very impressive. And I can't wait to see what they do moving forward as they will advance forward. Name Not Found will be, going bye-bye for right now. But of course, we thank them so much for coming out here. They're going to get paid.
They get a stack of cash as
They
well.
They get a stack of cash as well. So I'm sure that they're not too frustrated. Of course, playing for that, what is it, $1 million prize pool or something? It's a lot of money. Let's just put it like that. That's what we're all here for. A Name Not Found. Unfortunately, their journey ends here, but OMG moves on to the next round. One thing that I do want to take note of, though, is it seemed like this time around it worked out for them. Zimp,
Yeah.
this start with the very early aggression has worked out for them, and hopefully that pays off moving forward. But Titan countered that one pretty good.
Yeah, so what happened is kind of the same thing as against Titan. They just won the early game. This time the difference was they were able to capitalize on the fact that they were ahead, right? I mean, they had Kronos on 404, which is also really late game oriented, but I mean, somehow just pull through, and I hope they just keep doing that because they win the early game every time.
Yeah.
I love how fast they're learning as well. They're able to pick up the pace of the game, and you saw in the first game, like, wow, we did really well in the beginning, but we fell behind because we weren't picking up objectives. We didn't have money. And so in this match, they're thinking, hey, why don't we just work on objectives? I saw the shift. I saw the mental state change while they were playing. They were able to build off that.
Yeah.
What was actually really interesting was that it seems to be their playstyle of choice, aggressive early game, and now you could see like a slight change in focusing on objectives, going into really nice prepared team fights, and it wasn't like 100% like perfect or anything like that, but it was definitely like a step in the right direction. And I do like the fact, especially with so much on the line, that they choose aggression, especially early, just to set the pace of the game, because that's how, like in many other competitive games, it's like when you be aggressive, when you like are the first one to make a move, you get to see the opponent's options and which options they choose and read habits and stuff like that. You could be like, oh, for example, on her jumping in on, like, let's say Rama. If he dashes backwards every single time, you get to be like, oh, well, now I know he's not even going to try to fight me, and you can use that to your advantage to bully lanes and rotate and move on.
How did you guys feel Serket played into this? Zim, it wasn't a factor for you, Zim?
No. I mean, she didn't have to do much. Her lanes won by themselves. But there was one play in mid where she got like her ulti on one guy. Anubis ulti on top of that just exploded everywhere. But other than that, didn't really see much Serket play.
Yeah, there was a poison kill at one point that spread,
Yeah.
but I mean, Chalk won, you saw Anubis won, and then On Her went off. I mean, Mingju Yu just went crazy, and Serket actually had the second lowest damage next to the Guardian in that match. Didn't matter.
It's actually good for OMG knowing that the Serket didn't play much of a factor. Right, that's always going to be a very important thing, because it's like, well, they had Serket, so that argument could have been made, but it was not the case here. So OMG still looking really good with their strategies. It's sound, and again, should be expecting big things out of them moving forward. Sure. Without a doubt. So once again, guys, we've been reminding everyone at home what's going on. We're doing some awesome giveaways, and we want to spread the love of the Smite World Championships, of course, powered by Curse Voice. Now, all you got to do is just make sure you use the hashtag SWC. And on top of that, you also tweet at Smite Game. When you do that, make sure you include a picture of how you're enjoying the Smite World Championships. Again, we've been getting some funny pictures all event long of people just, attempting to feed us, right? And I'm okay with that. Does that count? Does that count?
Yeah. We love bacon. We're getting some bacon soon. I know that.
We have to get bacon. If we do not, someone's cooking bacon right now, and I can smell it.
Gotta be
so
fresh.
excited. So make sure you guys are, doing that online on the Twitters, and really looking forward to seeing what you guys are putting out there. How you guys are watching the event, whether it's on a big screen, whether you're at a watching party. Of course, we have 2 more days of Smite action here in Atlanta, Georgia, to get into. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a good time, Dry Bear.
Well, since we are in North America right now here in Atlanta, Georgia, let's go ahead and cut to see what North America predictions were for the Smite World Championship going into it.
For the North American LAN, I think that both COG teams have a very good shot of getting to it. Complexity also could potentially take a couple games off COG if not beat them. It's really up to how they play with momentum-based teams.
So yeah, you're gonna see 3 cognitive teams at Worlds.
It's gonna be a really good Worlds.
So COG fans, we're gonna make it.
I mean, to be fair, I've played on both sides. Like, I played on EU and NA, and I think by far the NA teams are much better, like skill-wise.
Yeah, I mean, like, no disrespect to Dig or Complexity, but I think the COG teams are on another level right now. Like,
I expected Aquila to win. After scrimming them, I thought that they were a pretty good team. Probably the best in Europe, so I think they deserve the spot in Worlds.
SK is good too.
SK is good.
They're a decent team. I think they are overhyped at LAN. I think we will beat them.
I think Aquila will be. Which other team that went? SK. Actually, no, I think SK will win. I think, yeah, no, Aquila will win. I think SK will win.
I honestly think it was just a fluke that Aquila won.
Oh, yeah. A complete fluke.
I watched a little bit of the Chinese tournament, and it looked pretty interesting. They were trying some new things, like they were trying to lane swap, like they put Chalk in a 1v2. That was cool, I guess. I don't know if it worked out how they wanted it to, but it was interesting to see some new things in the game. And then for the Latin American players, I feel like they're the farthest behind like any team, because I've experienced Latin American servers myself. The Brazil teams look a lot better than the Latin American teams, but I definitely feel like the Latin American teams do have a shot if they do make it to Worlds.
Awesome stuff there. Want to point out, team name, Fat Chunks Assemble.
Shout out.
I got to give all the credit to the Smite community, man. They come up with some names, dude.
We have fun.
You really do.
We have fun.
Fat Chunks Assemble. I don't even know how to react to that. As a caster, I would be like, oh my god, Fat Chunks Assemble. Wait, what?
We also had Thirst, whose tag was Ratchet. It's just from like a memory standpoint, it was such a tough thing to make it through the Smite Pro League. And shout outs to North American teams making it fun for us.
You gotta love it, man. Some really cool stuff there. Of course, guys, if you're just joining us, we just saw was OMG face off against Name Not Found. Name Not Found lost that game. That is pretty much going to do it for them here. OMG will move on to the next round here, as we're going to, of course, watch. What is it? Going to be COG Red facing off against SK?
Oh man, this is the matchup of a lifetime. I mean, I think going into this, there's two groups here. This is going to be like the Pepsi versus Coke. It's like the COG Red fans versus the SK Gaming fans, and they're meeting here in a best of one in the round 3 of the placement stage, and whoever wins this goes directly to the semifinals. They skip quarterfinals, and they just get to sit pity on their high horse and just wait as the quarterfinals complete, and the other one has to go and face up against the winners in the wild cards, right? So with OMG moving forward, and we love Baking moving forward, it's going to be a fun match.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the challenge. Zim, we've been talking about SK quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
He made the Coke and Pepsi reference. Who's Coke? Who's Pepsi?
SK's Coke.
Oh, okay. Okay, SK's and that would leave. So then, who's RC Cola? I think is the bigger question.
RC Cola?
Yeah, I don't know if are you familiar with RC Cola?
I don't want to say Titan.
Okay. Oh.
But
can we get just like a loud horn, like?
Yeah, right.
Cola.
My goodness, my goodness.
Man.
So now I believe we have our play of the game set up. No,
the player of the game. That's right.
Play.
So in that last match,
yes,
let's just go ahead. If you're sitting at home, you're in the crowd, shout out what you thought the player of the game was.
And there you go.
There's Mingzhu Yu. That's right. You were right. It's on her. Now look at this. Now watch how fast it comes in. And most hunters would get shaky knees at this point. They'd want to run home and run out of the fight. In fact, I was screaming during this play, go home, stop fighting. He jumps over the shot, impales. There's the silence. And Chalk's like, okay, guys, I'm going to throw my life away so you can escape. And Mingzhu Yu's like, nah, man. I'm still in this fight. There's a shield. There's a taunt. They group up on the Thor dunk. Here it comes from the sky. Apollo comes on up. There's the Albisk again, and he's using his abilities on cooldown. He's able to keep this fight in action. Apollo's going to jump on back, and you saw that Anubis wasn't even in that fight.
Yeah.
He was hanging out in the mid lane. They didn't even need him. They got Mingzhu Yu.
You know what was actually really impressive about that whole little clip was that not only was it a stellar play by him, but it was also great team play. As you saw, Chalk came in body blocking. The Geb shield was absolutely on point, and it just shows a really good, strong, growing team. And that's like the one thing to take from that. Not only was it absolutely stellar play, but the team is great as well.
Yeah, that's going to be again something that they're going to need, hands down, going into the next matchups, because it's only going to get harder from here. While name not found, you know, great team. They unfortunately for them, we saw it in the first rounds there, right? They just weren't they weren't meshing. They weren't able to stack up against their opponent. Now, you know, moving forward, OMG, they had that great match against Titan. We know they can hang right now. That much is evident. They can hang with Titan. Can they hang with SK? Can they hang with Cog Red, Prime? That's the question on my mind.
The quarterfinals is going to be really difficult for both OMG and We Love Bacon, because you look at it and it's going to change. I mean, either you're Cog Red or you're SK if you're OMG. Let's look at that last match and just look at the map control on the screen here, and you can see yet again. Look at the speed. I don't know how many times I need to say this before these teams realize the speed is the key. 97%. Now, obviously, you look at the total, 66%. That's just over threshold, right? Just over half. That's not too much map control, but because they had that speed, they had the power.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this happen numerous times already, and it's already been quite, you know, evident that if you are a team that wants to succeed here at the Smite World Championships, go after speed.
That's right.
It's very, very important. Allied, your thoughts?
The speed buff is absolutely one of the most important buffs in the game. Like right up there, I'm not even kidding, with Goldfury and Firegiant. A lot of teams scramble, and you'll see a lot of small skirmishes not only happen at mid Harpies, but at speed buff, because the movement speed, especially during the current meta of the game, movement speed is key. Attack speed definitely helps late game, but movement speed, getting around the map and going for those ganks is absolutely key to jungling successfully.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at the map there too. I mean, OMG really was just pressed up. They got bits out of nearly every single portion of the map there besides one, right? At that point, they're just showing their dominance, right?
It was the right one.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the fact that, you know, OMG is showing how fast they can learn. I mean, it's trial by fire. They came all the way from China to face off against the best teams around the world, and obviously 4 months of practice is not enough. They don't even have a published client in China, and they're just picking this up so quickly. They realize, okay, how can we shift our builds? How can we shift our picks? And they came in this thinking, okay, this is going to be a kill game. It's an action game, right? We can definitely get a lot of kills early, and they started to realize that we don't have the mid and late game, and so they picked Geb. They're going more defensive. They're picking up mid and late game characters, and they're building for these stable comps and then going for the right objectives. They are learning so fast, it's terrifying.
I think it's also showing confidence too. Like, they're starting to realize, like, we can contend with these teams. We don't need just absolute early game. We can spread it out, and that's usually what you see among most teams. Is like, you have a couple early game gods like Thor or whatever, and they might fall off mid to late game, but while they fall off, they pack like utility or something like that. But now, like, you can tell from OMG, they're not just early game. They can spread it out evenly.
Question I have for you guys though, okay, is are they letting us off? Are they leading us on here? Are they like saying like, oh, this is what we do. We go, you know, super early game, and then like next round they're just like next level status?
Can't be. It can't be. I mean, you're coming in a best of one placement stage where you can get eliminated and not win the money. I don't think there's any team in the world. I mean, you guys tell me, you're the players. Would you run that kind of strategy in a best of one knockout?
Right away.
I would consider it, and then I would probably be like, I'm scared. I don't just give me Freya. Just give me Vulcan, please. Just that's it. Like, you know, usually that's what you see in high stakes situations. It's usually the comfort picks in any game, like you know, Street Fighter, League of Legends, etc. It's just the comfort picks come out, like especially from the top players, and that's why you see a lot of bans on comfort picks. For example, 404, they didn't even ban Circuit. I think they're just banning out, like, we don't want to deal with that kind of crazy aggression. We're scared.
That's a lot of thought behind this comp. I mean, you had like a protect Anubis comp with the Geb shields, you know, the Shack ultimate. On her pillars, just defend Anubis at all costs, because his damage is insane as long as it's not dead, you know?
Yeah.
So I think as long as OMG lives by take speed or you feed motto, they will keep winning.
Well, in the first game that we watched OMG, we saw that it was more of like a protect Mingzhi Yu game, right? And that's the biggest thing, is that we saw them, when they started to lose the match, is when they stopped protecting the on her. And so by picking Anubis and saying, hey, here's our red herring, come kill Anubis, and on just throwing spears in the corner, that seems to work for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you said, it worked for them. They are going to move on. Let's take a look at the bracket here. And, you know, of course, catch you guys up to speed with what was going on. So, of course, we had the wild card go on. Those were best of 1 matches. That would have seen We Love Bacon move on over Doja's Dog, DID. Oh my God, though, takes the victory over Name Not Found. This was, you know, 2 predictions I think we all made across the board here. So they're going to be moving on, you know, to We Love Bacon, as a matter of fact, will be moving on to 1 section of the quarterfinals. And then on the other side, you have, you know, Oh My God. So they won't face off against one another. They're just, you know, they're going to get split up for right now. So we're not going to get that crazy matchup that I had thought we would have seen.
Yeah.
But needless to say, though, they will be playing against the loser of the upcoming 2 games.
Well, I mean, yeah, so Cognitive Red versus SK Gaming. Whoever loses this goes against We Love Bacon. The winner will move on to semifinals. You look at the other side of the upper bracket, Titan versus Cognitive Prime. Whoever loses there will play OMG in
so
the
we
first
might
stage
see
of quarterfinals.
Titan versus, we could potentially see Titan versus OMG again.
Titan versus OMG, that's correct.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm sorry, no, that it should be the reverse, actually. It should be OMG versus Titan.
That's what I'm saying.
OMG versus the result of Cognitive Red SK Gaming, and then Titan Cog Prime versus We Love Bacon.
I was going to say, if OMG gets that run again at Titan,
we got,
potentially.
We got a tip that was a little bit distracted. So you can see at the bottom, I mean, in the middle, you see the knockout, right? OMG, We Love Bacon already locked in. And, you know, with us going into game, you know, day number 2, day number 1 is almost over, fellas. And, you know, it's amazing to see how much passion has really been filling the day and what teams have been bringing to the table. But we're getting to that point, right, where there's no more holes barred. I mean, we've got Cognitive Prime and Titan, we've got Cog Red, and of course SK Gaming coming up next. I think this is going to set the pace for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, guys, it's going to be a great matchup. Make sure you're out there tweeting it. We have Cog Red SK coming up next. A great matchup between, you know, 2 of the best teams playing Smite right now. But before we get into that, we have Kelly out there with a member of the winning team. What's going on, Kelly?
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. I am here with the captain of China's OMG. And the first thing I want to ask is, how has your experience been here in North America and during the SWC?
你在这里过得怎么样？在这个比赛感觉怎么样？在美国感觉怎么样？
我在这里的感觉都特别好，这里的训练环境，然后酒店的住宿，然后平时的那种状态都保持得很好。
We've been received really well. You know, the hotel is great, and you know, all the equipment is really nice.
So, give me a quick rundown of how you feel that the meta in China differs from North America, Europe, and even South America.
你觉得欧美的打法跟中国的打法有什么区别的？
我们在中国的接触时间比较短，所以说我们对这游戏的理解和他们就是可能有些偏差。我们更注重于对那种野区的掌控和那种 buff 的那种侵略性。我们的线上能力是有点不足的，对他们来说，他们线上比较强，而我们就把侧重点在于他们的 buff 的争夺，还有那种双鸟、三鸟的那种控制上。
So we've been able to play the game for less time than the rest of everyone. So we've taken more of a focus on denying buffs and invading the jungle because we think maybe that the foreign or the American and European teams are better at laning than we are.
And who are you most excited to go up against for the remaining teams?
你最想要跟哪一个团队打？
我们整体的中国队就特别喜欢跟 COG Red 然后来一场争夺赛，特别喜欢和他们打。
We want to play Complexity Red, or right, COL Red.
Cognitive Red?
Cognitive Red.
Oh yeah, they're, you know, one of the fan favorites, the #1 seed in North America, and they're highly contended up against. Guys, thank you so much and good luck in your upcoming games. We are now going to take a quick look at a video coming up now.
What's up, everybody? Hi-rez Brad here. I'm going to give you guys a backstage tour at the SWC production. So, starting off over here with my man SNK, you might know him. He streams for us.
What's up, guys?
He's going to be doing all of the video playback, handling your picks and bans screens, and everything like that. And then you go one more step over here. You've got Mr. Josh, hi-rez Josh.
How's it going, guys?
He handles all of our ticker, all of our stats, programming the picks and bans, doing a lot of cool stuff on the programming side. Then to him, you've got Timmy here with Axiom. He is the camera director and floor director. He handles making sure all the talent's in place and all the camera shots are nice and clean for all you guys. And then I sit next to him. I do all the main controlling and main switching for in-game cameras to Xbox cameras to the normal cameras to videos, everything that goes from one step to another. And then you got my man, Ray Pecky, you might know him. So give him that look. He's got that look going on right there. That is your graphics man. Ray is the god of graphics. Ray, play us a graphic real quick. Put him on the spot to play a graphic. What are you going to play for us? What are you going to play for us? Do it up. Boom. And there's a graphic. He brings up that Barracuda player profile. So then you got probably one of the most important people back here, KK, or Adonis, you'll know him. Give him your caster voice, Adonis.
Give him the cat. Don't put me on the spot.
He's on the spot. He can't do it. What? He is your cameraman. He is your in-game cameraman.
Dude, I just got so much hate.
If you miss a kill, first blood, hashtag blame Adonis. Not blame Brad. Blame Adonis today, guys. Blame Adonis. Then we've got a couple other newcomers. We have Clumsy. Turn around, Clumsy.
Yo, what's going on?
He is the coach of Complexity. He is going to be one of your key guys on the Xbox controller doing in-game camera cinematic shots today. And then next to him, turn around, Helro. He is a player that I'm sure a lot of people know in the community. He is going to be a second guy on the Xbox controller doing cinematic shots. Then one more step over here, we've got hi-rez Pon Pon. Everybody knows him from an ex-pro player, and he's been with us for a while. He is going to be doing all of your replays and first blood replays and everything like that, getting all the good plays for you. And then we've got our man E. Vincent, Eric over here. He's going to be doing all your bumper cinematics and bumper replays and everything like that with the Xbox controller. So there's a lot more stuff that goes on. We've got analyst desk casters, we've got sound and lighting out in the house, and then we've got a whole other crew that is doing all the projectors and switching the in-game player cams. And then we've got a whole YouTube team uploading stuff to YouTube for you guys right away. So lots of stuff going on, guys, but that is the backstage tour for Smite World Championships. Enjoy the rest of the show.
How's it going, folks? Tom F. Battinger here one more time, but this time with a big member of the hi-rez family, and I'm here with KP himself. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How about you?
Not too bad. So we've done this once before, and actually, I got in trouble. I dragged a spoil out of you. So this time we'll play it by the rules. So for those of you that don't know, let's tell everybody a little bit about what you do at hi-rez.
I'm one of the god designers on Smite.
All right, so you designed some of the gods. So for you people playing at home, the gods that you're playing are sort of from him. Who came from your brain?
I got Rom, Kabrakan, Nox, Sylvanas. Yeah.
So all the real fun ones that came out recently, all right?
Yeah, you could say that.
So here's a question. What's it like, I mean, it seems really, what's it like when you see, hey, I designed that god, he's top pick, top ban, he's really good, I'm the best. How does that work in your head?
I don't know, it's just really cool just to see them played in a competitive environment and just seeing what the pro players can do with it. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I mean, so when you create these gods, obviously you think about combos and the potential of the gods. Have you ever been surprised by the pro scene or the pro players? And have they ever showed you things that you didn't even think about with the gods you designed?
Oh yeah, all the time. And I just like, whenever I see a pro land that like third ultimate hit from Rom, like I just get crazy every time. I'm just like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now here's another thing. All right, so you create the god, you have some sort of idea of what he's gonna look like. What's it like seeing the cosplay? There's somebody here that looks like an awesome Rom.
Oh man, I had like that moment. I was over there in the Xbox area and I saw a dude cosplaying Rom and I was just like, my heart, I was just like, that's awesome. Like, it's just a really cool experience. And then I also saw Nox out there and I'm just like, I gotta get pictures with everybody.
That's awesome. So I mean, you're a creator of the gods. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So what's the life like over at hi-rez as far as the SWC? Are you guys amped?
Oh man, just coming here and seeing everybody, you know, all the fans come out to watch the game, just seeing everybody be so excited for something that you worked on. This is really cool. It's like, thank everyone for coming to the SWC. This is really awesome.
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you. Thank you all. This is, you know, just as much everybody's as it is everybody's. So that one more time, that's hi-rez KP, God Designer Extraordinaire. Let's see what Kelly's doing up on the stage.